On this episode of Inner Voice.
In the early aughts, if someone's business card said actor, writer, director, producer, I would be like, dude, pick a lane. What are you doing? Figure it out. And now I think the opposite is true.
Having the talent within you, but also being in the appropriate packaging. Like, thank God, great, you can sing. Let's also make sure you're the right weight and the right look, and also make sure that your body is marketable. Your voice is nothing unless the package matches.
You suddenly reframe that ex or whoever that used to call this woman and this woman crazy, and you were like, yeah, she is crazy. And then you're like, wait a minute. The common denominator here is the guy.
You don't have to pick one box. You can build your own shelf. And the reason it's not you can build your own box is you deserve space, breathing room.
But because I was in that outfit, she was like, oh, you're this type. And she recommended me, which was nice of her to recommend me for another role. But I was like, oh, that's not my type. You just think that's my type because you're seeing me in this business outfit.
Silent music starts to play with unlock. Yeah. Copyright. Hi, everybody. Sometimes you get carried away. Sometimes you get excited about the old Broadway. Hi, Zach. How are you? Are you excited about Broadway?
I'm passionate about a lot of things.
Broadway,
musical theater. I'm staunchly anti-frack.
Mm-hmm.
I love the power of Advion cockroach gel. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor
podcast. But as we know in the continuing drama, you do live in New York City, and so we're grateful. We're grateful for their products.
My whole apartment is getting bombed on Wednesday.
It's going to be a blowout. You know how some, houses, because I live in Los Angeles, so they just cover the whole house in like a circus tent.
Yeah.
But that's not practical.
No, that's not my tax bracket. Oh, yes, let's talk about practicality. It's not practical. I could if I wanted to.
Because that's how you know someone's rich. Hello, everyone. Today's guest is Alison Becker, who I was a huge fan of for the longest time, and also had the chance being here in Los Angeles to meet, to get to know, and to really be floored by as a human being. One of my favorite humans on earth, who is one of the best people on earth. And we're talking about how to navigate today when you're multi-talented. Isn't that the best? I mean, that applies to both of us, right?
Oh, is that why you started with Sunset Boulevard? Exactly.
I mean, people are like, it's not. I mean, unless it's all connected, is it? I'll speak for myself. I bump up against this all the time. So people want to give you they can see that you're incredibly talented, and they're like, could you just get in the box? Then I know what to do with you. Could you just have one talent? Then I could give you your opportunity. And then you're like, well, I can tap dance too. So,
or can we talk about having the talent within you, but also being in the appropriate packaging? Thank God, great, you can sing. Let's also make sure you're the right weight and the right look, and also make sure that your body is marketable. Your voice is nothing unless the package matches.
Right. You're not too queer. You're not too much. Yeah. So I always have my talking points and my vines. I like to think of them as mini vines. Not even mini vines. Vines are already mini. You don't have to pick one box. You can build your own shelf. And the reason it's not you can build your own box is you deserve space, breathing room. You can forge your own path. And sometimes when you're multi-talented, you forge a path that encompasses all of who you are. And being a multi-hyphenate talent isn't confusion. It is creativity without clarity, acceptance, worship from you. So, in other words, your job is not to fit into the box. Your job is not to pretend you can't do these other talents. Your job is to find a way to use them, express them all. When I was a child, and I'm telling you, middle school, I would preach in church. Those of you that know have read my best-selling books. Did I mention I tap dance in addition to writing best-selling books? Those of you who've read, some of my biographical work, you know that my mom is a pastor. And I was called upon as a child to preach. And it was, I felt like I was back in the homily, back in the pulpit in church, because God has given you talents. I happen to be Buddhist right now, but life has given you talents. Use them. So the industry loves a box, whatever industry you're in, honestly, but if it's film, TV, performing arts, whatever, the industry loves a label, but your job isn't to fit, it's to help expand the labels, the boxes, the categories, knock down the walls. And you're allowed to evolve. Your brand doesn't need to be a fixed point or a cage for you. I love this subject. I love this human being. You are in charge of bios. You are the queen of reading the bona fides. Let's have it for Allison. I'm so excited.
I am so pleased to be here. So pleased to introduce our fantastic guest. Today's guest is someone whose career feels like a masterclass in creative reinvention. Alison Becker, actor, writer, host, producer, improviser, and creative powerhouse, has been quietly shaping screen, stage, and storytelling for over 2 decades. From cutting her teeth at Upright Citizens Brigade and hosting MTV's Boiling Points, Fuse's F-List, VH1's Top 20 Video Countdown, and Field TV's The Daily Habit, to lighting up the screen as Shauna Malway Tweep in Parks and Recreation, Allison's range is unmatched. She's sold features to Amazon and Comedy Central, written and produced pilots, directed shorts, and written her voice into everything from ESPN's Main Street, M-A-Y-N-E Street, to Tiny Toons Luniversity, an Emmy Award-winning writing partnership with Kimmy Gatewood, plus starring in fan-favorite sketch projects. That's just a start. A proud Georgetown alumna and longtime Mensa member, she lives at the intersection of brains and bravado. Always curious, always evolving. Today we get into the heart of what it's like to be the multi-hyphenate. To live freely and creatively without compromise, here is Alison Becker.
Allison, hi.
That's me.
That is you. We asked the hard-hitting questions. What's it like to be famous? Tell me.
Oh, I mean, just things fall into your lap. It's fantastic. No.
You got everything. You got things sent to you in the mail.
Exactly. Just money, just cash money.
Oh, okay. Yeah. From the ATM in the sky.
Exactly. I wouldn't know what it's like to be super famous. I do know what it's like to be, as I like to say, a Z-list celebrity. Not down to Z.
You're down past Kathy Griffin? You're down.
I am lucky enough to be a Z-list celebrity. And what that means to me is that maybe once a month, I will get recognized by someone who inevitably is always like, I'm so sorry to bother you. And I'm like, please bother me. This is great. You're just a stranger going to tell me that you like my job?
Tell your friends to bother me. Come back.
And please do it in front of my parents next time.
Yes. And that happens once a month. That's Z-list to you. Where do influencers fit in? Am I in this? I'm not even on the tier. I'm not in this universe.
You're a higher letter than me. I would say
no
you're
way.
Oh yeah, I would say not just because it's your initial, but I would say you're like J level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You're a J level celeb.
The main thing I wanted to ask you about, is it multi-hyphenate because it's fun for you, or the industry has forced you into this many hats? Where's the balance?
I think it's a little bit of both. So when I first started out in this industry, I was just an actor to begin with, just an actor. And this was, in the 1920s, just kidding.
Before the talkies.
In the early aughts. And when I would meet someone out in New York who would hand me a business card, I don't know if your audience knows what business cards are. They were a tiny little piece of paper that we used to use. And in the early aughts, if someone's business card said actor, writer, director, producer, I would be like, dude, pick a lane. What are you doing? Figure it out. And now I think the opposite is true. Now, if someone says to me, oh, I'm an actor, and they stop talking, I always want to ask, and what else? Because out of necessity in this industry, especially with the way things are in the industry now, that is to say, not super lucrative. I think you have to be a multi-hyphenate out of necessity. However, for me, there is a lot of joy that comes from being a multi-hyphenate as well. When I'm just using my brain for acting, I feel like I get a little bit stagnant. And when I just use it for writing, I feel like I get a little bit stagnant. But when I'm spreading it out over different fields, then I feel much more vibrant.
Yes, well, and you've pitched and sold. You've been a success along many lines. Your dog found a human body part on an SVO opening, on camera.
It was a placenta, y'all.
I wasn't going to exactly.
No, you weren't. That's why I said it. That's why I said it. It was a placenta.
Your dog found a placenta, correct, on an episode of Law and Order SVU, but also you've had this huge success behind the camera. So it's not as though your talent is better. This is not the way I envision you, having gotten to know you over the years. It's not as if one's at the top of the list. It really is that all of them are places where you excel.
Well, thank you for saying that.
You're welcome. And it then gets super frustrating because I'm sure I want to hear about it. I'm guessing you've been in meetings where they say, can't you just fit in this box?
Oh, yeah.
Then we'd know what to do with you. Can't you just, right? So tell me about that experience and what it feels like to bump up against that.
I mean, I think I think everyone in this industry experiences that, where it's like, okay, this is the thing you are, now just be that. And it's funny because you can trick people. I remember I went to this one acting coach. I won't say her name, but she is not a lovely person. She's known in the industry as not being a lovely person. That's all I'll say on that. But the characters I felt comfortable playing were kind of these like scrappy, a little bit of a hot mess type women. And I went to her for to help me with a specific scene. And I walked in the room and the scene was like a businesswoman, which like I don't feel comfortable playing or don't see myself as. But because I was in that outfit, she was like, oh, you're this type. And she like recommended me, which was nice of her to recommend me for another role. But I was like, oh, that's not my type. You just think that's my type because you're seeing me in this business outfit. The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people in this industry, while they're working in a creative industry, don't really have big imaginations. And I don't mean that from the artist side. I mean that from the executive side. A lot of them do not have imaginations. A lot of them do. I've worked with some great out there. But some of them just can't see past what is in front of them. So if a woman walks in wearing a button-down shirt, they're like, this woman can play a business person and a lawyer, and that's it. So you really have to show them that you can do other things. And that's why I'm always, when I was starting out, I was always performing live comedy and trying out so many different characters and really exploring all these different people that I could be. Because if you leave it up to them, if you leave it up to the people in suits, they're going to put you in a box. And maybe that is the box you want to be in. But if it's not, you got to fight back.
Yes, and you do fight. And all of your work is suffused with this inclusivity and fight for the voiceless to have voices. It's not as though you're purely fighting on a creative level. You're fighting to make the industry more equitable. And so I want to talk to you about those decisions because it's not only the box that Allison can do X and not Y. It's really that women in the industry should do X and not Y is part of it. But also, anyone coming into my meeting or my office should only fit in X. So there's several layers that you are breaking through. And I guess to be very specific, you get tired of it? I mean, it's not cute every day.
Tired of the fighting?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I get tired. I lose faith. All of that. It is exhausting, and you have that, but I think that that's part of the reason why I am a multi-hyphenate, because when I'm exhausted on one of those pistons, I can switch to a different one.
Was that a car reference? I mean, stellar to me. I don't have no idea. You could say anything.
But and not just from one hyphenate to another hyphenate, but within a hyphenate. And what I mean by that is sometimes when I'm working on a script with my writing partner, Kimmy, sometimes we'll hit a wall and we'll just be like, for whatever reason we're just not cracking the plot on this or the character arc, or there's something that we just are not getting. And what we will do often in that instance is just take a break from it and go to a different script that we're working on. Oh, we haven't looked at this one in 3 months. Oh, this one's actually pretty good. Let's type this up and let's punch this up and move this around. And in doing that, we can now go back to the first project with fresh eyes. So I think if you, and I say this broadly as an artist, I think if you're an artist and you're just focused on one project, this is my experience anyway, if you're just focused so much on one project, you really can get lost in it in a not always in a good way. And I think you need to step back sometimes and shift so that you can come back with fresh eyes. I gave you a little bit of visual on that one too.
I know people better look up the YouTube video for that breakdancing. Thank you. You are so good, and the trap of being so good, if you don't, how are you with compliments? Let's get spiritual for a second.
It's hot and cold. Depends on the day.
Okay, great. I hope you're having a good day today, because here it comes. You're so good in so many buckets that it actually, do you ever feel that it confuses people? It makes, are you ever afraid that one of your hyphenates will suffer because you happen to be good at many of them?
Yeah, I've worried. Thank you for saying that. I have worried before. I mean, there's stereotypes, whether we like it or not, that come with each of those hyphenates. Actors are not smart. Writers want things a certain way, whatever those stereotypes are. So yeah, I'm afraid that as a writer, I might be considered less than because I'm also an actor. So I might consider not smart enough to be a writer. And when I'm acting, I think, oh, well, they might think, well, she's a writer, so she's going to want to rewrite the lines and do it her way and not do what's in the script. So yeah, I'm always afraid of that. I think just by being in this industry and working with, thankfully, mostly good people, they can see past that.
Define good people. What do you mean when you say that?
I mean, I won't mince words. There are assholes in every industry. And I have unfortunately worked with a few of them, but I think overall I've been really lucky to work with an overwhelmingly just lovely group of people. I mean, Parks and Rec was the show that I did for the longest, and that show from top to bottom, everyone on that show was just so welcoming, so collaborative, so supportive. Like, I don't think people realize how sad most comedians are. Like, I mean, most people in comedy, like when I watch something that's funny, I don't always laugh. Sometimes I'll just actually say out loud, like, oh, that was funny, which is so sad. It's so sad to say that was funny and not laugh. But Amy Poehler, who has every right to not laugh at anything anyone says because she's one of the funniest humans on the planet. If you make the silliest joke, she will give you this wholehearted belly laugh that is so supportive and so funny, and just she's just a joy. So I really have been lucky.
Okay, well, I will get personal with you because the industry, I've had a tough time myself, as you know, you've witnessed over the years. And often there's just this, please be comprehensible. Just fit into a box so I can do something with you. Just be comprehensible. And of course, over the years, I've learned I can't. I mean, it would be interesting to try, but absolutely not. And I feel the same is true for you, that there really is no containing a talent like yours, even with the opposition, the pushback, the sexism. You know, there's the stuff that everyone faces, but well, how about this? I'll read you for filth. I think you care about equity so much because you've experienced what it's like to be in non-equitable environments.
Yeah. I mean, especially, the early aughts weren't that long ago, but when I was coming up through comedy, there was one token girl on every improv team. And that was the diversity.
Was that you? You were the token for a while? Yeah.
Every team had one girl. So that was our DEI. Forget about the gender spectrum, forget about different races, forget about different abilities. It was just like literally a white girl a white straight cis girl on every team was our diversity. And so, yeah, I knew what it was like, and it was lonely, and it created an unnecessary competition between women, which I didn't like. And yeah, so I try to be aware of it. I think anyone who says it's hard is lying. Sorry, but they're just not trying. Like anyone who says it's hard to make a project inclusive and equitable sorry, it's lying. Just like scratch the surface a little bit, And I think that, you and I have talked about this before. It spans over so many different groups. And when I directed my first music video starring Santina Muha, called Ass Level, we were making a real push because Santina is a wheelchair user, and we were making a real push to have that set be equitable, not just for gender and race, but also for different abilities. And I think we succeeded. But yeah, it's not hard. Like, it might take you a couple extra minutes to do a Google search, but it's not hard.
Some people have talked to me that it's more expensive, meaning I'm going to have to find new people, hire new people, right? If I'm going to be inclusive. And I've never, in any project that you've ever done, I've never seen that even be an issue.
The opposite is true. I would argue that because by nature of the way the industry, treats people of different abilities and different genders, that they have
fewer get them cheap.
They have fewer credits, so you could get them cheap. So I would argue that is the opposite is true. Yeah. Because they want to work, just like I did as a woman in the early aughts. I'm like, I want to work. I want to be in this sketch. I want to do this. So I would take jobs for less money just because I wanted to work.
Yeah. So tell me a bit more about being the token, white straight cis girl. It really was, the girl was there to be a foil to the guy's comedy, right? She was not an equal comic.
No, in every sketch or scene, I was the mom, the wife, the girlfriend, the cheerleader. And even what was so telling was when I did improv, which obviously is no script, and then I did scripted sketch comedy. And in the sketches, the female characters would rarely have names. It would literally say like Tommy and girlfriend, Joe and wife. And it became so normal, Jeffrey, that even if I was writing the sketch, I would not give the female characters names because it was just ingrained in us. And then one day
Internalized.
I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is insane that this patriarchy is so deeply embedded in me.
Okay, we need to found a comedy troupe. Are you ready? And we need to do a sketch called Allison and Husband. I'm not in it. I'm the neighbor. But do you know what I mean? Because this, can you tell me the emotions that go along? I know what it's like to feel left out, to feel not even misunderstood, but to feel shrunk into a, what do you want to call it? Monolith, an avatar.
But it was so normalized that I didn't even realize it.
When did you realize it?
I mean, I'm still realizing it every day. I mean, you're still like I'm not even
Day o'clock
as a joke, but there's these moments, that you have as a woman, as a human, where you're just like, oh my God, like you suddenly reframe it. You suddenly reframe that ex or whoever that used to call this woman and this woman crazy, and you were like, yeah, she is crazy, she's crazy, and then you're like, wait a minute. The common denominator here is the guy. Or crazy. Maybe he just thinks that women are crazy when they don't like
all of your exes are crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. They're all crazy. But when I would first hear that, I'd be like, yeah, she's crazy because this guy told me. And now I'm like, what was I thinking? That was so dumb. But I can't beat up my past self. I mean, that's not going to do us any good. I just can only change the way I do things going forward and try to help other people see it that way too. But so there's also a lot of shame around it because the realizing how I used to be with other women is shameful. Also, is it Ariana Grande or Olivia Rodrigo that has a song that mentions that in one of their lyrics about,
what?
I don't want to sing, but I'm going to sing.
Please.
When she's like, you called them crazy and I hated that I called them crazy too. Listeners, please do a little search. Or maybe you don't have to. It's either Olivia or Ariana Grande. I can't remember. But anyway, she's right. She's right.
Yes. Okay, so now we've hit on internalizing the oppressive system. And you also said something really beautiful that I'd like to underline. You can have moments of shame that you participated. And that shame is not useful or helpful now. And it can still surface, and learning to be kind to yourself and learning to do your own work of transcending that shame so that you now can create the sets. You and I have done, various projects together, and really you're the only person that, here comes another compliment. One of the few people on earth who treated me equitably and with respect.
Is so shocking and equally not shocking.
In equal measure from both sides. Yeah.
When it's me and you hanging out, that it's shocking to me. Like, how could someone not treat this just sunbeam of a person?
You got it. I was fishing for compliments. Go on.
But then I look at, the world and I'm like, oh, of course that's not shocking. Look at this world we live in. It's not exactly, making room for everyone. It's not exactly applauding people who make room for everyone. It's a dark time in the history of our country and our world right now.
So tell me about transcending if you had any, fear of being political for your career. Meaning, you believe in equity? Watch me. I'm not going to name a political party. You believe in kindness to other human beings? Does anybody know what I'm hinting about? But you post on social media, for example, about what you care about. Immigrants should be treated with respect. All human beings should have respect. You you're doing this podcast with someone who is me, looks like me, right? So did you have that moment of, oh, I should keep that stuff hidden so I can get a network show? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's that balance?
Yeah. And maybe that's why I was never a series regular on a network show, because I wouldn't shut up.
What would it have been? Tell me. Your crime procedural. What was it? In a fantasy world, what is it?
I mean, my fantasy now, because it changes. It changes by okay. And I used to want to like show run my own sitcom that was about me, and I was the star and I was the head writer. I wanted that. Now I would love to be number 5 on the call sheet in a fun multicam.
Not as much responsibility for people who don't know the lingo.
Yeah, my time in the lights.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's my dream is different than it was years ago, but I forgot what the question was.
Well, no, we'll go back to it in a second, but it's a murder mystery, and it's a murder mystery, and I solve the crimes, and you're one of my friends who helps me solve
where
crimes.
I'm like, you're like sassy assistant.
Okay, I can get into it. Okay, you're hired. The question was, did you ever have a time period where you were afraid that politics was going to keep you from getting work?
Yeah, today.
You're like, what time is that now?
There are many people who think that genocide is okay. I thought this was like basic stuff.
But,
I'm afraid all the time to speak out. You gotta, we only get one shot at this, and
yes,
I'd rather be on the right side of history. I'd rather be kind. It's not about being right. I would love to be wrong about this. I would love to be wrong that there is not, unnecessary killings happening, but
killing of innocent people. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wrestle with that every day. I'm not going to lie. And I, get something that you're unfortunately very familiar with, Jeffrey, which is a lot of hate online.
Right.
And it's scary. It's just scary, and it's a bummer. And sometimes when I do post political things, I turn the comments on that post off, which is just one little. Listen, I used to go, and I think a lot of people did this when social media was newer. I would be like, okay, commenters, let's get in there. And I'd respond to each one, and I'd be like, actually, blah, blah, blah. And then I slowly realized that I was going insane, and you cannot do that. Mm-hmm. So then for a long time, I would let my followers who were on the right side of things fight the battles for me. And they would, as I'm sure you have too. People just jump to your defense.
To argue in the comments. Yep.
Exactly. And I'm like, argue away, because engagement is engagement, y'all. Then I went through a phase where I was like, I hope the haters say something, because for every comment they leave, they don't realize that they're bumping this up for more people to see it.
Yeah.
So, and now I've kind of come out on the other side of that even. And I'm just like, if it is a very political post, or I'm afraid it might be controversial, I will often just turn the comments off. And I think that helps with my sanity a little bit.
Yes. And I was interested in the industry. So if we take the Middle East, for example, and wanting to use your voice and your channel to advocate for not murdering innocent people, for example, how does that, I can't tell. Okay, the real question. I can't tell if the industry is in such a weirdo upside down place that nobody knows what is going on for anybody or anything. And so in that way, like anything goes, kind of, or it's not going to be a concern, or shouldn't be a concern, right? To have advocacy for, political viewpoints. But we'll leave the question there. Are we out of the era where it's going to affect your job? Because people are just so all over the place?
I don't don't know. I think it can still affect
Yeah.
your job. Yeah, because the every job is a series of decisions that a bunch of humans have made. And it just is one of those humans to be like, I disagree with her. I disagree with them. No, we're not hiring them. So, yeah, but again, I'd rather have fewer jobs, make less money, but be kind and be on the right side of things.
The right side of history, we might say.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the right side of my history. Was that a smooth wrap-up voice? I adore you, and thank you for sharing your light and your wisdom and your kindness with us today.
Thank you. And I do want to do one correction, and this is my own fault.
What?
Zach even asked me in the beginning, is there anything you wanted to correct in your bio? But I just wanted to make it crystal clear. My writing partner, Kimmy, has won Emmys, but I have not won the Emmy with her. I just wanted that to be articulated.
Oh, you've won an Emmy in my heart.
I know, Jeffrey.
Every day. Thank you.
I want someone to be like, she said she won it. No, I didn't. I didn't win an Emmy.
Okay, well, that is now crystal clear.
I didn't win an Emmy yet, is what I'll say.
Exactly. And what's also crystal clear is that you're a great person. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Wait, but before we go, what are you working on now? Because people want to see it.
Oh, well, the things I'm working on now are not out yet because I'm working on them now. But the last thing I worked on...
mystery.
That's how the industry works. But the last thing that I worked on was Tiny Toons University, which is on HBO Max, 2 seasons. And it's such a fun show. And I feel like it didn't get enough attention. And it's great for co-viewing, meaning adults and kids together. Family. It's just a really great show. And it's really special. And I think that everyone should watch it. Tiny Toons University.
Wait, I have a question, though. Okay, so you said it twice and it went so fast. It's a portmanteau of loony and university.
I know I said it like it's a word.
Right?
It's not a word. Loony and university.
So
you are correct. Looniversity. It's the Tiny Toons reboot. There was an original Tiny Toons show in the 90s, and this is the reboot of it. It's way more progressive and just it's better. So watch it.
Don't you have a non-binary character?
We do have a
hear the rumors.
Character.
Okay, great. Thank you, Allison. What a gorgeous human being. What a good time. I say this a lot. I think people get annoyed, but, fuck them. I have the luckiest job on earth. I have the luckiest position to be in right here in my Los Angeles living room. I mean, not to mention just being surrounded by beautiful people like you and Allison. You have a trivia question. Trivia!
I was going to say, I do.
I hope it made it in. I
was going to cut it out, but let's acknowledge there was a honk. This is really exciting because we're talking about the average Joe today. We're talking about LinkedIn.
We're walking. TWAW.
Also not a sponsor. AWLSO. Also not a sponsor. According to a recent LinkedIn report, we love LinkedIn.
Could you do like high British accent for this?
Oh my God, Jeffrey, I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. According to a recent LinkedIn report, what percentage of Gen Z professionals now identify as multi-hyphenates or /career workers?
Wow, you went
was that decent?
Between upstairs and downstairs. It's very complicated history for that person.
I only know how to do. It was on the spot. No dialect coach. No dialect coach.
I was paying attention to the theatricality. Could you repeat, please?
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. According to a recent LinkedIn report, what percentage of Gen Z professionals, we love them, now identify as multi-hyphenates or /career workers?
I would say it's what percentage? 60.
Cool. And I actually acknowledge the pitfalls of this question. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's I think humanity is important. I don't know if it's US. I don't know if it's the whole world.
Oh.
I just have this LinkedIn report, and I apologize for that. But let's just give me a guess anyway.
60. It's time for advertisements, and you should do some deep breathing during the advertisements. You should stay present. You should love yourself, enjoy yourself, have fun, and I'll see you in a little bit. Hey, you know that advice you give your best friend? The one that lifts them up, reminds them of their worth, and helps them keep going? Yeah. What if you actually took it yourself? My book, Take Your Own Advice, is the permission slip you didn't know you needed. It's a guide to self-kindness, to finally believing in yourself the way you believe in others. Packed with wisdom, warmth, and that signature Jeffrey magic. This book is like a cozy chat with me or one of your most supportive friends. So, if you're ready to stop second guessing and start thriving, grab Take Your Own Advice wherever books are sold. And hey, this is your sign. Hey, beautiful soul, Jeffrey here. Are you ready to finally release what's holding you back? Step into your power and live authentically as your truest self? My one-on-one life coaching sessions offer you personalized guidance, heartfelt support, and transformative insights that are tailored just for you. Let's journey together toward greater self-love, clarity, and empowerment. Apply for life coaching at jeffreymarsh.com. You deserve this personalized care, and I'm here for you. Welcome back. It's time for that community question. I was trying to be like a 50s. There's no like disc jockey in Back to the Future, the trilogy, is there? Why is that on my mind?
Disc jockey?
Welcome back. It's time for our community question.
I was like,
oh,
Jeffrey,
you know what I'm thinking of? Hairspray.
If you're saying disc jockey, maybe you should come into the future.
Maybe I should. It's the Corny Collins Show.
What, you want the community question? you want the community question or not? Okay.
Is it from Tracy Turnblatt?
Okay, well, it's an anonymous question, so we'll say it's from
maybe
Tracy Turnblatt, 1904, in the Discord, which you could join our Discord at jeffreymarsh.com. Right?
A safe space.
Jeffrey,
and then your
safe
question
space.
too could be part of our show.
100%. So this is a real question that was asked in our space. Jeffrey, I'm doing freelance work in two totally different fields, and I feel like no one takes me seriously in either. Am I diluting my value by spreading myself thin, or building something more meaningful?
Okay, here's where we have to have real talk. And for 2 seconds, I'm going to sound like Dr. Phil, which I never do. But if you're surrounded by people who don't take you seriously, that's a you issue and needs to be addressed first. Dramatic pause. Pause for emphasis. And I don't want that to get swallowed up by self-hate. It's not your fault. It's not something you did wrong. It's just something everyone is trained into. So if we find ourselves surrounded in a job where people do not take us seriously, do not respect us, that's when it's time to start plotting a change and a difference for yourself. So that's number one. And if you make that adjustment first, the whether I should put myself in one and not the other, or both, or am I deluding myself, all of that becomes irrelevant. Here, I'll sound like the 1990s. Put yourself first. What I mean by that in this instance is you got to be at the top of your list to take yourself seriously and act accordingly by surrounding yourself with people that make it through your filter of respecting you. And then those other questions won't be as important. And maybe someday, if people want to ask me in the safe space in the Discord, we'll talk about practical tips about how to actually make that transition to respecting yourself and loving yourself that much. Would you tease the trivia, please?
Yes. Yes, I would love to.
We're going to have an ad break, and then we're going to need the tease first.
Right, but you have to know what you're thinking about. What you should be thinking about. Maybe acting upon some of those ads if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But something else to keep in mind is, according to a recent LinkedIn report, what percentage of Gen Z professionals now identify as multi-hyphenates or /career workers?
Yeah. Gen Z professionals. I said 60% because I think it's big.
And we'll find out when we come back.
See you in a bit. Hey, love. Jeffrey here. If you've ever felt lost, stuck, or wondered, who am I really? And how do I fully embrace it? Then I've written something special just for you. My book, How to Be You, is your personal guide to self-acceptance, empowerment, and joyfully celebrating your true self. Because the most revolutionary thing you can ever be is exactly who you are. Ready to step into your truth? Pick up How to Be You wherever books are sold. You deserve it. Welcome back. It's time for the answer to the trivia.
I love this. I love this answer. Not to tease that I love the answer before the reveal, because I think there's some juicy stuff to talk about.
Oh.
According to LinkedIn's 2024 Career Trends Report, 52% of Gen Z professionals identify as multi-hyphenates or /workers.
I'm
Source, 2024 LinkedIn report. Yeah, the Career Trends Report. 52%. You talk first. I have questions.
I'm just shooketh because I almost said 50, actually, but then I upped it to 60 because I think it's quite big. You know, Gen Z, to me, I respect that generation so intensely, not least of which is because they're the most pro-LGBTQ of the current generations. And I could go give a speech in a college and I don't have to explain myself. You know what I mean? Like that's big for someone like me. You're just automatically, seen and heard and respected. And I think they don't play by the rules and are accustomed not doing so. So the idea of being multi-hyphenate or having many categories or excelling in many categories is just a natural fit for them. That's my assumption.
I'm thrilled you took it positively. Just because I would like to spin it. Can I spin it?
You take it into the.
Do you trust
negative.
me to spin it like a disc jockey? Mm-hmm. I can spin it like a.
Scratch it.
So, what part of the multi-hyphenate is necessity? Like, no longer can you go to college and just pick something, and then get a job in that thing. Like, are those days officially over? Enough that 52% of people are reporting that that's not enough.
Wow, you schooled me. I'm Gen X.
No, well, I'm 1995. And so it depends on who you talk to. That's an honest. It depends on who you talk to. I'm a millennial. That's my culture.
You are the year 1995. That's who. That's who
I'm
you are.
not giving away my birthday on the end. I mean, you could Google it. I guess everybody knows everyone's birthday.
What's really exciting though to me is you're absolutely right, and it's not like the boomers who may not even have gone to college, period, and then get the job that can support a family and buy a house, and those days surely are long gone. So yeah, that is something to think about.
Yeah. Thank you for the negative spin with Zach. This is our new segment. Zach gets.
Do we have a theme song?
Zach gets dark. Zach gets dark. Jeffrey's all bubbles and Zach gets dark. And I'll turn the light.
I have my encouragements and reminders to everyone in the multi-hyphenate world. You are not too much. You are just enough. You are not too much. You are enough. Every version of you belongs here. So it really behooves you to get here. Your creativity doesn't need to be on brand to be its most brilliant. Yeah? Human beings are not consistent. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. And don't shrink your talent to fit into their imagination. Close your eyes, everyone. Could you feel, for me, what it's like to breathe? What it's like to be alive? If it's not safe to close your eyes, you can keep them open, but draw your attention toward the breathing. My teacher at the monastery talked about 4 parts to the breath. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Could you stretch out all 4? Could you make all 4 a bit cushier, a bit more comfortable for you? Could you inhabit all of your talents? All of your pathways? All of the places where you belong? Are you lucky enough to belong in many places at once? Exhale all the breath out. Push the air out. Pause. Inhale, puff up like a balloon. Stay full as you pause. And then exhale to open your eyes and go on with your day. It's lovely spending time with you, and we will see you soon. Take very good care. This has been Inner Voice with Jeffrey Marsh. Today's episode was produced by Zach Latino. If you're ready to go deeper, transform your life, and experience personalized support, my one-on-one coaching sessions can be applied for at jeffreymarsh.com. Know someone perfect for Inner Voice? Send them our way. Have them visit jeffreymarsh.com to sign up for our exclusive online community, and we'll reach out if their inquiry aligns with an upcoming episode. Remember, you are worthy exactly as you are. See you next time.